Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to increase the prices of your thumbnails. That's basically more money in your pocket for the same amount of work. I'll be providing all of you with a complete framework on how you can go ahead and increase your prices. Once again, I really want to help you guys, so it's not going to be a short video. If you're looking for that, please search somewhere else. Today we are going to be diving in deep and I'm really going to break things down so that you can all understand this topic in depth. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get straight into the video. So let's talk about it guys, pricing your thumbnails. Okay, so first of all, I just want to cover how much can be charged for a thumbnail. Now 99.99% of thumbnails generally fall within the range displayed right here. So as you can see, it starts from $0 all the way up to $5,000 to $10,000. This is what we would consider the upper echelon or the highest amount of money that is currently being charged for thumbnails today. Now MrBeast himself stated that he spends 5 to 10k for a thumbnail, and this is the amount I'm basing my range off of. As MrBeast is one of the most popular YouTubers, if not the most popular, I am stating his figures for the upper end pricing of thumbnail design. Now it's important to note that he did go ahead and spend about $5,000 to $10,000 for 3 versions of the thumbnail, which he could pick from at the end. So he did spend that amount in order to get 3 versions of the thumbnail. So if we were to divide 5,000 by 3, that would end up being $1,500 to $1,600 per thumbnail. So he didn't actually pay for one thumbnail for just $5,000. With that cost came a couple of revisions or different options that he could pick from. So that's just something to keep in mind. Regardless, it falls within the range you see here, which makes it a very high amount of money to price for a thumbnail. Now guys, in yellow are just my quick estimates of the percentage of designers I believe are pricing within each category. So what I have is 85% of people charging between $0 to $50. That's the general public. Most people who are thumbnail designers are charging within this range, and then it moves up to 10% for $50 to $100. So of course there's less people charging this rate, and as we move up in price, you can obviously see that the amount of designers residing in these ranges are less and less, and that's just simple supply and demand. There's only a few people in the world charging in this upper range of thumbnail design. Now I say this not to discourage you guys. I obviously want every single one of you to make as much money as possible, but what I do want to give you by showing you this is just a bit of a brief reality check and understand that not everyone is charging in this upper range. Only a select few people in the world are charging within this price range. Now the good thing is I'm going to be providing you guys with a framework that allows you to start off right here and work your way up in price and move up the ladder. And let's not forget guys that even if you were able to get to the point where you could charge $50 for a thumbnail, you would definitely be able to freelance full time and earn a good living doing so. Okay guys, so what I want to do now is just quickly run through the factors which affect price. This is just going to help you to understand what things you need to be focused on when you are looking to increase your prices. So let's start off with the main factor, the elephant in the room, which is CTR, which stands for click-through rate. Okay, so your work needs to generate results. This means creating high CTR thumbnails. So CTR, as I mentioned, stands for click-through rate, and this is essentially just the amount of people who are shown your video which then go ahead and click on your video. So for example, if YouTube shows your video to 1,000 people, out of those 1,000 people, the percentage or the click-through rate is the amount of people who actually clicked on that video. Switch your focus from creating pretty pictures to creating thumbnails that get people to click. Now a lot of people in the thumbnail design niche tend to think that if I have this sort of glow effect, this magical effect on my thumbnail, it's going to make people want to click. That's not always the case guys. A good thumbnail typically always doesn't look the best. It's not a piece of art, but rather it piques interest in a viewer to make them want to click, and that can be done by using psychology tricks, using color, using high status individuals. There are many ways to go about creating a high CTR thumbnail, but let's stick on topic for this video. I might make a video dedicated to CTR in the future. Clients have an investor mindset. They want to see an ROI on their investment. They are not paying you for fun. Now remember guys, if any client is ever willing to spend money with you, then they want to see a return in their investment. That is why people are spending money. People, for the most part, are not paying you to make things look pretty, although that is an added benefit. They are paying you, let's be blunt here, to increase their CTR. The benefits of increasing the CTR means that the person gets more views, that can lead into more subscribers, that could lead into more money for the person. So guys, if there's anything that you take away from this video, make it be that you learn as much as you can about how you can increase your CTR. This is the most tangible piece of evidence you can show a client to prove that your service works. This then allows you to justify charging a higher price. If you can prove that you can create a higher CTR thumbnail for your client, basically what you are saying in a nutshell is that I can make more money for you. And which client isn't interested in making more money? Okay guys, just sticking on this CTR topic, let's say we have two different people. Person A has a 2% CTR and person B has a 7% CTR. Let's just say that both of these thumbnails are in the same topic and they're both being designed for the exact same video. Now for person A, for every 1,000 impressions, which means that YouTube pushes that video out to 1,000 people, 20 people end up clicking on that video. When you go to 5,000 impressions, 100 people, and at 10,000 impressions, 200 people click on that video. On the other hand, you have person B, for every 1,000 impressions, 70 people click on the video. For every 5,000 impressions, 350 people click on the video. And finally, for every 10,000 impressions, 700 people click on the video. So as you can see, between the two people, having a 5% difference in CTR can make a drastic difference, especially as it hits the 10,000 impressions mark. Person B gets 500 more views on the same video. That could lead for the person to having more subscribers, having more awareness, earning more AdSense revenue. That could even lead to more product sales being made simply by having more people click on the video. So guys, this is the value that a thumbnail designer holds, so always make sure that you remember that value. Now guys, especially if you're a beginner starting out in thumbnail design, you may be thinking, how do I get access to the CTR information? How do I know that my thumbnails are increasing the CTR of my clients' videos? So to know the CTR you generate for your thumbnails, you will need to acquire that information from the client once they have used the thumbnail. You will often get a more accurate result after about 3 days of it being used. Now the information regarding the CTR is only accessible to the person or the YouTube account that is posting that video. It is simply best that you ask them for a screenshot of that information. The CTR can be found in the YouTuber's analytics, so go ahead and ask for that information. You can also try and find out how that matches against their old CTR. This will simply just give you an insight as to how much you have improved upon their original thumbnail. So let the client know that you would like this data to help measure your impact and improve your service. Typically, most clients will happily agree to provide that information to you, and having a screenshot of that information is ideal. Okay, so other than CTR, there are a couple more factors which contribute to the price and are important for you to understand. And I'm briefly going to go over these just to bring it to your attention. Okay, so let's start off with technical skills. Being able to create thumbnails which require more technical ability. For example, MrBeast thumbnails aren't exactly the most attractive thumbnails, but a lot of skill is required to even create those thumbnails. A high level of photo manipulation is involved, and so it's something that most people simply cannot replicate. So having a higher level of technical skill separates you from the rest, and it also makes you more in demand since there's less people of yourself with the same level of skill. Okay, so moving on to experience. Now this is pretty self-explanatory, so having experience in creating thumbnails which perform well and also have a proven track record of creating thumbnails which generate results. Notable clients, so have you created any work for YouTubers which are established and have a larger audience? This will serve as social proof. So for example, if you've created any work for a channel with maybe 10k subscribers, 20k subscribers, that will serve as social proof, and that is something that other clients appreciate. They like it when a thumbnail designer has worked for a client with a larger audience because it means in their mind that this thumbnail designer can be trusted. Customer service skills. Now this one's really important, so your ability to deal with clients and provide a satisfactory service all around. That means providing good response times, that means doing things in a timely fashion, so making sure that you are getting back to your client in a timely manner. It also means that you're professional in how you deliver your deliverables and that you are a respectful person in general, because nobody wants to work with a disrespectful person. And forget about pricing, guys, for just a second. If you cannot even do customer service right, then you won't even have any clients to deal with in the first place. And finally, communication communication skills. So whether through spoken word or through messaging, can you communicate effectively? And this is something that's always overlooked. People don't actually spend time as thumbnail designers to improve this thing. Whether you're speaking English or your native language, making sure that you are able to communicate effectively will be a really important factor that will enable you to be able to charge a higher price. You're always going to be in discussion with your clients, so knowing what to say and how to say it is really important, and also having a good hold of the language would help you in doing that. So guys, everything that I've just shown you on screen are not necessarily actionable steps, but rather things I want you to keep in mind when we move forward. And now we move on to the juicy part, which is what I would do if I was starting off as a beginner designer, charging about $5 for a thumbnail. Okay guys, so let's say I'm starting off at $5 for a thumbnail, and the goal and the target for me is to hit $20 per thumbnail. Now you can change this number to $10 to $15, it's up to you, but try and keep it pretty incremental. So in this case, the target is $20 per thumbnail, and so what you will need to do at this stage is first of all critically analyze your situation. So what you will need to do is make sure that you ask yourself every single question you see here on screen. So first of all, how many people have I helped increase their CTR, even by a couple of percent? You'll be surprised guys, but there's so many thumbnail designers out there which simply do thumbnail design and have no interest in knowing anything about the CTR. They simply make the thumbnail, maybe they charge $5 to $10, and they simply leave it at that. That is the wrong way to go about it, especially if you're trying to grow and improve your service and also charge a higher price. Now the follow-on question from that would be, do I have proof of this? So guys, as I mentioned before, it's really important that you get proof of the fact that you've increased someone's CTR, because you'll be using it as proof or evidence when pitching to a client to prove that what you are saying is valid. You have screenshots proving that you have improved a client's CTR, and this is going to help you, especially when you're justifying a higher price point. After that question, now you will ask yourself the question of, have I communicated this to a client when attempting to increase my prices? Again, as I mentioned, many people don't even think about CTR, so have you ever mentioned CTR to your clients, and have you ever communicated the value you can add to a client by increasing their CTR? And then finally, ask yourself the question, how good are my technical skills, and are there people charging my desired price with the same skill level as me? So once you've asked yourself all of these questions, you should be able to draw out some actionable steps from it. So let's just run through these once more, and I'll provide you some actionable steps once reading the question. So for example, how many people have I helped increase their CTR? So again, at this stage, if you have not yet got any information regarding the CTR of your clients, make that a mission of yours to get about 5 to 10 screenshots proving that you've increased the CTR of your client's thumbnails. That way you now have some tangible proof that you can show to a client to prove that you're worth what you're charging. And again guys, from this point onwards, make sure to always communicate the value you can add to a client by mentioning how CTR will affect their channel and help their channel grow in different ways. And once more, how good are your technical skills? So just make sure to assess your technical skills. If you see someone charging $20 for a thumbnail and you feel that you have the same skill level, that's a good indication that you can charge the exact same price. Now if you find that you're trying to charge that price and you find that nothing works, it may be a sign that you have to work on your technical skills just to bring them up to par so that you can go ahead and charge the price you want. So action step number 1, make sure you have 5 to 10 screenshots proving that you can increase the CTR of your client's thumbnails. Action step number 2, make sure that when you are pitching your service to a client that you are communicating the value that you can add by increasing their CTR. Make sure as well that with those screenshots that you have as evidence that you are using them within your pitch to show to the client so that they can see that you're not lying about what you're saying. Action step number 3, always be assessing your technical skills, and if you find at any point that you are unable to make anything work, it's a sign that you need to work on your technical skills. And this is just general advice. As a thumbnail designer, you should always be striving to improve your skill set. Okay, moving on now. If you are having any trouble communicating the value that you can add to a client by increasing their CTR, then you can simply use ChatGPT to help you do this. Here is an example that ChatGPT has created to pitch CTR and its benefits to the client. So let us read it really quickly. So your video success heavily depends on its click-through rate, CTR. The better your thumbnails, the higher your CTR. I've helped creators increase their CTR by up to whatever percentage you have increased the CTR by, leading to more views and engagement. I specialize in creating attention-grabbing thumbnails tailored to your audience, let me help your content get the clicks it deserves. So as you can see guys, just by using ChatGPT, you can go ahead and pitch your clients on the value you can provide by increasing their CTR. Obviously, in my personal opinion, I would just adjust this ever so slightly just to make it more human, but you get the point guys. You can use AI to your benefit to help you create these pitches to your clients. And again, just remember that when you are pitching to a client and explaining the value of CTR, to just add in the evidence of your previous clients and how you have increased their CTR. This is simply just going to amplify your pitch since the clients can see that you're not talking rubbish. Okay guys, now when you are deciding to increase your prices, my personal recommendation guys is to not attempt to pitch the new price to existing clients. Since they are providing you with income, it would be wise not to potentially cut off that source of income, as there is a risk that some clients may decide not to continue to work with you after being pitched a higher price. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you here, most clients in my personal experience that you are currently working with will not like the idea of you increasing your prices. Most clients that you are currently working with were happy with the price you charged them initially, which is why they decided to go ahead and work with you. And they obviously saw some value in what you could do for that price point. So when you increase the price on them, typically it just ends up with the clients having a bad taste in their mouth. Some might actually agree to continue to work with you, but for others, they may simply just decide to stop working with you, and so that's what makes it high risk. The idea that if you just pitch your new price to them, that they could just simply ghost you, and as a result you will lose your income that you're currently earning from that client. And I quickly just want to give you a quick random example just to put things in perspective so that you understand. Say one day guys that you went to the supermarket to buy a banana. Now that banana was $2, and then 2 weeks later you go to the same supermarket, to the same aisle to buy the same banana, and that banana ends up being $20. Would you go ahead and buy that banana? You probably would stop buying that banana guys, or you would go to a different supermarket to look for a cheaper banana, because that is what you initially paid for and was happy to pay for initially. So guys, that same concept applies in what we're talking about. If you charge a lower price initially, when you go ahead and charge a higher price with a person that used to pay less, more often than not they will just simply not decide to continue to buy what you're selling. So the solution guys is to focus on implementing your new strategy on new leads or people you reach out to, simply by stating the higher price which you are now charging. So for example, if you used to charge $5, when you meet any new lead or new client and you are deciding to start increasing your prices, simply just state that you charge $20 for a thumbnail. Don't tell them that you charged $5, don't tell them that you charged $10, just simply state that you charge $20 for a thumbnail and set the expectation in the client's mind that this is simply the rate you've always been charging. Also guys, let's be realistic, understand that it's also a numbers game. Some people will simply not agree irrespective of what you say, simply because it is not within their budget of what they are willing to spend, and that is okay. So guys, when you are pitching your new price, don't expect everyone to say yes, but also don't take any no's personally. People simply sometimes do not have the budget, and it doesn't mean that they aren't interested in your service. It simply means that they don't have the budget to work with you. What you'll find is a lot of thumbnail designers, as soon as they charge a higher rate and they get a no, they take it personally and they think that it's just simply because they're charging a higher price that people are literally declining their service. Sometimes it's just a budget issue on the client side, and so it's nothing to do with you or the value of the service you can provide. So you need to maintain your value and not go ahead and start decreasing your prices just to make yourself feel good. As I mentioned guys, it's just a numbers game. You're going to have to pitch to a lot of people, pitch to any new leads that you have, but it's simply just a numbers game guys. You shouldn't have the mentality that every single person that you talk to is just going to say yes. All you need to do is be consistent, continue to maintain your confidence, and continue to charge the price which you believe you are worth. Given that you have the proof that you can actually help people, it is only a matter of time before you start to gain a couple more higher paying clients. And you'll never know guys unless you try. So if you never charge a higher price, then how would you know if the client is willing to pay for it? You simply have to try to find out. Okay guys, now let's say that you have reached your target, which was $20 per thumbnail, and you're now trying to go to about $50 per thumbnail. And the higher you start to aim with your price point, there are a couple more nuances that you need to take into consideration. As you can see on screen, you are simply rinsing and repeating these same steps when you are trying to increase your price, but as you can also see, there are 2 more points you need to factor in to the equation, especially when you're trying to reach the $50 and above range. So the first question that you need to ask yourself is, do I have any notable clients that I have worked with that can serve as social proof? So basically, have you worked for any clients that have have a larger following, maybe a large audience on YouTube, and this is something that other clients like. They like it when they see that you have worked with people with a larger audience. This just offers people assurance and confidence that working with you is the right decision. Now you may be thinking that how does that have anything to do with charging $50 for a thumbnail? So let me tell you guys. Typically people with larger audiences on YouTube have a higher budget to spend on thumbnails. And since they have a large audience, you can make the assumption that a lot of their income is tied to their YouTube channel. So by you coming in and actually helping them with their thumbnails, you can really increase the amount of money they can make. And since they already have a large audience, the amount of money that you can make by increasing their CTR is much more than you would for a smaller channel. Hence why people with larger audiences are willing to spend more cash on thumbnails. That's simply because if you can increase their CTR by even 1 to 2%, something as little as that can really take their income to the next level. And so you as a byproduct are able to go ahead and charge $50 to $100 for a thumbnail, and that is something that the client is going to be happy to pay for, since they're probably going to make more money than that. And the next question that you need to ask yourself, guys, is am I increasing my visibility online? Do I have a portfolio, and do I post on sites like Twitter or Instagram? So guys, if you want to increase your prices, then at the very least you need to be visible online. You need to have a social media platform that you're focused on, and you're posting client work that you have done. Again, this ties into social proof. If you want to go ahead and find and attract people that have larger audiences, then by simply posting on these platforms and trying to always increase the amount of clients that you're working with that have larger audiences, it's only a matter of time before you start to get people with larger audiences coming to you asking for a thumbnail. And of course, you can charge these people higher prices. Okay guys, now I just want to touch on the importance of climbing the ladder progressively. So each price point, guys, presents a phase that you must get through in order to equip you with the knowledge, technical skills, and social proof needed to elevate to the next level. If you try and skip steps, example going from selling $5 thumbnails to $100 thumbnails, you are setting yourself up for failure, since you will get demotivated by the amount of work that needs to be done to reach that point. Instead, focus on incremental steps. So from $5, set the target to reach $10. When you hit $10, set the target to reach $15. Moving up in incremental steps, guys, will motivate you to continue on your journey. Work your way up and you will eventually reach your goals, guys. As you can see by this chart, let's just take this as person A being the red and person B being the green. So guys, let's just say that person A wants to earn quick money, so they want to earn $100 off the bat. And as you can see, they work their way up, but they get demotivated by the amount of work that needs to be done to reach that point. And so what they do is they end up giving up and just simply never end up reaching their goals, simply because it's just too hard. On the other hand, you have person B, which moves up in incremental steps, and at each milestone they get a new boost of motivation to move on to the next level. So it keeps them motivated, it keeps them working hard, and those are the people that typically end up reaching the goals that they set for themselves, simply because they never give up. Okay guys, so finally I'm just going to provide you with some action steps, as I know I've provided you with a lot of information in this video. So focus on acquiring proof that you can increase the CTR for clients. Use that proof in your pitch. Study the factors that contribute to price and try and improve in all of these areas. Use AI to help you craft persuasive pitches and communicate the value of CTR, which is optional, and avoid increasing the prices of current clients. Instead, charge the new decided rate to any new leads and clients. Once you have more higher paying clients, replace the lower paying ones for higher paying ones. Once you work your way up in price and you want to charge higher amounts, focus on working with people that have larger YouTube audiences, as it will act as social proof to others. Increase your visibility online and post your client work, progressively trying to showcase work done for people with larger audiences, which again acts as social proof. And finally, rinse and repeat. It's a numbers game, so don't ever give up. Okay guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. If you act upon all the action steps that I've provided for you, it's only a matter of time before you are able to increase your prices of your thumbnail designs. Thank you very much guys for watching this video, and until next time, peace.